Hello, my dear friends and respected attendees. Good morning and Jai Bhim. I am Shashikant, coordinator at Karunyakara Institute of Dalit Knowledge. Today is the 48th online lecture on this platform on the topic Annihilation of Caste, Section 8, Part 9. This lecture is about to be delivered by Professor Lella Karunyakara sir. Professor Lella Karunyakara sir is a former Vice Chancellor and founder of Karunyakara Institute of Dalit Knowledge. He is the author of History of Dalit Identity and Modernization of Buddhism. After completing his PhD from JNU New Delhi, Dr. Karunyakara joined as Assistant Professor in the School of Ambedkar Studies, Babasaheb Bhimrao Ambedkar University, a Central University, Lucknow. He introduced the Dalit History course in the MA History program. He was instrumental in the introducing 50% SC/ST reservation in the BBAU admissions. He founded Ambedkar University Dalit Students Union AUDSU in the year 2000 and Babasaheb Bhimrao Ambedkar Central University SC/ST Teachers Association in 2006. He joined as Director cum Professor in the Babasaheb Ambedkar Sidho Kanu Murmu Dalit and Tribal Studies Center, Mahatma Gandhi Antarashtriya Hindi Vishwavidyalaya. He held post of Dean of School of Culture and former Vice Chancellor of the university. I am extremely happy to warmly welcome Dalit historian Professor L. Karunyakara sir to please deliver his important lecture on this session. Now the session is over to you, sir. Please, sir, take a charge. Sir, unmute, sir. Please unmute yourself.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Shashikant. It's a happy to see all of you, and it's a pleasure to have Dr. Poonam here. And yeah, and Shreyat also there after a long time, and this one Mr. Shaukat Fakir is there. Yeah, anyhow. So welcome to all of you. As you know very well that Karunyakara Institute of Dalit Knowledge has been conducting series of Dalit Knowledge lectures since 2025 on the occasion of Ambedkar Jayanti from 14th April of 2025. And it's we have completed the 1 year, and still the lectures are being carried out, and different eminent scholars from reputed universities, they have delivered lectures from this platform on different topics. And I am delivering series of lectures on Ambedkar's original text. Instead of choosing a topic randomly, I am delivering lecture on Ambedkar's original text. And this is the 5th text, that is Annihilation of Caste, which consists of more than 20 sections. So each section, I am dealing with each section of the Annihilation of Caste in every lecture. Very interestingly to find out Ambedkar how he systemized his booklet on his views on Annihilation of Caste by subdividing into small themes. So each section we have one theme, one topic with which Ambedkar dealt in his Annihilation of Caste. Hence, the series of lectures, Dalit Knowledge series of lectures on the Ambedkar text Annihilation of Caste, consisting of every lecture with a different a specific topic with which Ambedkar dealt in his book Annihilation of Caste. In our first lecture on Annihilation of Caste, I dealt the prologue written by Ambedkar to the book Annihilation of Caste. In that prologue, in the first lecture, I already discussed the point which I want to, the gist of every lecture, every section of the past lectures. Each past lectures, each lecture, I have dealt each one section of the Annihilation of Caste. So now I want to just explain the gist of the every lecture, which the past lectures dealt each section of the Annihilation of Caste so far. This is ours, this is a 8th section we are dealing in this part of the lecture. The first part of the lecture, I dealt the prologue written by Ambedkar to his book Annihilation of Caste, in which Ambedkar was very, very categorical that he didn't want to be a part of any movement led by non-Dalits. Even it was anti-caste movement. Remember, forget about normal movements. Generally, Dalits join other people's movement. But Ambedkar was very firm. Even if it is anti-caste movement, if it is caste eradication movement, if it is annihilation of caste movement, Ambedkar didn't want to be part of it if it is led by non-Dalits. What does it mean? That means that Ambedkar don't want to give his mic to non-Dalits. Ambedkar don't want to give his platform to non-Dalits. Ambedkar don't want to give space, Dalit space to non-Dalits. But practically what's happening? Dalits are so much socially aliens. They want anyone to join with them. They want anyone. They are so emotional. Dalits are so emotional that if some non-Dalit comes and says Jai Bhim, that's more than enough for the Dalits to keep that non-Dalit on their head. Problem with the Dalits problem with the Ambedkarite Dalits that they don't follow Ambedkar. Why they don't follow Ambedkar? Because they don't read Ambedkar. Why they don't read Ambedkar? Because the intellectual class of Ambedkar, the Dalit society, don't teach the society what Ambedkar taught. So this is the main purpose why KIDK is continuously conducting this Dalit knowledge series. And we are uploading these all lectures in the YouTube channel, Dalit Knowledge YouTube channel, so that it will remain forever there. So this is a first of kind, very unique experiment KIDK is doing, has taken up since last year. My dear participant friends, Ambedkar was very clear, very firm on many things. If you just read Ambedkar, 99% of the present day issues on which what position a Dalit supposed to take, that answers also we could get from Ambedkar writings and speeches. Look at Ambedkar in the prologue, what he said to the what he said in the Annihilation of Caste. In the prologue, the main gist of the prologue is that a Dalit should not be a part of any movement led by non-Dalit. Of course, if you look at the Gramsci's ideas are very near to the Ambedkar's ideas. If you look at the Gramsci is an Italian thinker. He is very clear about how to make strategy. Look, if you have Ambedkar ideology and Gramsci strategy, that would be a fantastic, formidable way of life for the Dalits. What I suggest. Gramsci very clearly says that we should not have ego when you are in fighting with others. You should come back one step. Coming back one step doesn't mean that you have lost your battle. No. You have not lost your battle. You prepare to step back, at least one step back. When you find a formidable challenge, why you should step back? It doesn't mean that you have lost the battle, but that step back to prepare to go ahead with the 2 steps. So always target to win war. Small battles, you prepare even to lose. For winning the war, what we do, we want to win the small battles, like an argument at the tea shop, argument at the dining table, or argument in our own chambers, offices, or with the friends, or with someone, boss or somebody. We should have very clever strategy of stepping back, allowing others to take ahead of us in the battles. But our full target is wait for the right time to win the war. If you apply this strategy to Ambedkar's ideology, yes, don't join any non-Dalit movement, but sometimes you have to be with them. Look at Ambedkar. Ambedkar said that I don't want to be part of any movement led by non-Dalits. But same Ambedkar was a part of Congress government led by Nehru. Why it is? Contradiction. Life is full of contradictions. We should not be a stubborn. We should not be a fundamentalist. Ambedkar very clearly said in 1936, the Annihilation of Caste was written in 1936. He was very clear that he didn't want to be a part of any movement, even if it is an anti-caste movement led by non-Dalits. The same Ambedkar in 1956, in 1950, almost 46, 56, almost about 20 years. So he was a part of Nehru cabinet. He was a law minister, first law minister of India. And he wrote even Constitution of India. When Congress gave the opportunity to write the Constitution of India. What Ambedkar tried to give a message is that, yes, principally we don't want to be a part of any movement led by non-Dalits, but strategically, you have, because Dalits are minority. Ambedkar always called Dalits as a minority. Minority means not a religious minority or Buddhist. Ambedkar called Dalits not a religious minority. Ambedkar called Dalits numerical minority, social minority. It was a Kanshiram who made Dalits into a part of majority by conceptualizing the Bahujan. That's why I always say Bahujan is a political concept, not a social concept. Since Bahujan is a political concept, Bahujan identity could always be a political identity. It can't be a social identity. So don't get excited by the Bahujan identity. See, you can be a right. Bahujan, being a Bahujan, you can be a right at a political level. But at social level, you are wrong. If you call yourself a Bahujan in the society, you are wrong. You will be nowhere. Because most of the atrocities committed on Dalits in the villages are by the backward caste. Try to understand. Backward caste people are there. There are many backward caste communities, dominant backward caste. They commit atrocities against the Dalits. So at society level, you have to differentiate your identity. Be proud of you being a Dalit. First find out. Don't use the Sanskrit meaning of Dalit. Use the Hebrew meaning of Dalit. You will get a pride. So educated community needs to give this kind of ideas and their way of life. Dalit way of life, a prideful way of life. We must be proud of being Dalit. Being a Dalit, you can be part of a Bahujan. That's a political. Bahujan means Dalit, Adiwasi, Shudra, that's a OBC, backward caste Shudra, and the other religious minorities. So that's a Bahujan political category. So don't get confused with the Bahujan and Dalit. Bahujan is a political category. Dalit is a social category. Dalit is a social identity. Bahujan is a political identity. It cannot be a social identity. Try to understand this, number one. So coming back to Ambedkar, why Ambedkar didn't say himself Bahujan? Actually, the concept of Bahujan was given by the Buddha, Gautam Buddha. It was propagated. It was the concept of Bahujan was propagated, revived and propagated politically by Manivar Kanshiram. But it was Gautam Buddha who invented a concept of propounded the concept of Bahujan. Bahujan Hitaya, Bahujan Sukhaya. So it was the copyright of the Gautam Buddha, not of the Manivar Kanshiram. So what I'm trying to say that Bahujan, why Ambedkar didn't say himself Bahujan? Because Ambedkar did Dalit politics, pure Dalit politics. Ambedkar founded All India Dalit Federation. That was his political party, most successful political party. Before that, he founded one Labour party. It was not successful. He was communist ditched Ambedkar, so it was not successful. Then he founded, this All India Dalit Federation, which is known as All India Scheduled Caste Federation in English. In English, it is called All India Scheduled Caste Federation. But it is registered in Maharashtra as All India Dalit Federation. That's original. Where All India Dalit Federation, the core vote bank is in Maharashtra those days when Ambedkar founded. After that, Ambedkar, before dying, he prepared blueprint for the Republican Party of India, which he never even registered. He simply prepared the blueprint. So the most successful party, and he won many seats. That was All India Dalit Federation. So he used the Dalit word, not a Bahujan word. It was Kansharam who used the Bahujan word. Because Ambedkar did the politics, social politics. So that's why Ambedkar is the identity Dalit. So even today, you have to operate as a Dalit. You have to identify yourself as a Dalit. Being a part of Bahujan. Bahujan is not an opposite of Dalit. Try to understand. If you think that Dalit is opposite of Bahujan and Bahujan is opposite of Dalit, then you are confused. Dalit is not opposite of Bahujan. Dalit is a part of Bahujan. Dalit is a part of Bahujan. It means within the Bahujan, there is a Dalit, there is a Shudra, there is a Adiwasi, there is a Muslim, Christian, Buddhist, Sikh. All these people come under the category of Bahujan. That's a political category. So every political category has a social categories. So every political category has a social categories. Political category is a Bahujan, within which social categories are Dalit, Adiwasi, Shudra. That Shudra means backward caste. Backward caste Shudra. And non-backward caste Shudra also, upper caste Shudra also there. And like Maratha, Kayastha, Patel, these are all upper caste Shudras. This thing, then religious minorities. So these are the Bahujan. Now you got it. Now why Ambedkar did this Dalit identity politics? Because the Ambedkar felt that Dalit is numerically a social minority. So being a social minority, when Ambedkar said that don't be part of any movement led by non-Dalits, being a social minority, you can't win even Panchayat election, being a Dalit. Because just 15% only. Because we are just 15%. So being a 15%, how many seats we could win? We could win a few assembly, few parliament seats, but we can't form a government in any state. Neither at state level nor at central level. That's why Ambedkar said, of course you should have your own party, but you should have space to align with others also. So when you get an opportunity to be part of power, you should be in the power. Don't say that I don't want to be in power. I will win. My Dalit community will form the government. It's a stupidity. It's a stupidity that my Dalit community will form the government. Dalit community always remain to be a social minority. Try to understand this. So we are never going to form a government. Dalit government can be formed only by aligning either other parties or by aligning with the other communities. Like-minded communities. So when Ambedkar got an opportunity to join Nehru cabinet as a law minister, he joined. He didn't refuse it. When Ambedkar was asked to write a constitution of India, he accepted and became part of a constituent assembly. And he was the father of the Indian constitution, the chief architect of Indian constitution. He didn't miss the opportunity. He didn't say that, no, my Dalits will come to the power, then I'll read the constitution of India. Or my Dalits will form the government, then I will become the Prime Minister, then only I'll frame the laws. He didn't say that. We should be part of every government. Dalit should have only one agenda that Ambedkar had. Throughout life, Ambedkar had only one agenda, that how to benefit, how to use the power for the benefit of, to protect the interests of Dalits. When Ambedkar found that he could not protect the interests of Dalits, he could not protect the interest of the Indian society, Indian women, That is, I'm referring to Hindu Code Bill. So Ambedkar resigned from the law ministership. He resigned. The difference between Ambedkar and present-day Dalit leaders is this. Ambedkar also wanted power, and today present-day Dalit leaders also wanted power. But Ambedkar wanted power to serve to protect the interests of Dalits as well as nation's interest, the interests of India in general, and Dalits, the interests of Dalits in particular. When Ambedkar understood that he can't protect the interests of Dalits, he resigned from the post. He resigned from the power. He kicked out the power. He said that, no, I don't want any power. I don't want to be an agent of anti-Dalit forces. He resigned. But what the present-day Dalit leaders doing? They want power. They want to be remained in the power, even at the cost of losing the interests of the Dalits. That's the difference. So stating that I will form the government till I don't want power, that is one extreme. One extreme. See, every time you cannot get the same majority. Dalits have one and only agenda is that how to get power, how to remain in power, to safeguard the interests of Dalits. If you can't safeguard the interests of Dalits, then leave the power. But you are not even trying to get the power. Look at the Bahujan Samaj Party. Waiting to get the power. Anyhow, I don't want to go into the politics now. The next lecture, Ambedkar talked about, is it second lecture. We discussed Ambedkar's idea on whether the social movement is important or political movement is important. Ambedkar very clearly stated social movement is important than the political movement. Today, how many Dalits are interested to do the social movement? Everybody want to be in politics. But Ambedkar said that the foundation of politics is social and cultural. Social here means very broad. Social means that includes cultural. RSS also talking about culture. RSS also always talk about culture and doing the politics. Ambedkar is better understood by RSS, it seems, as a strategy. Though RSS don't follow Ambedkar, but RSS adopted Ambedkar strategy. Ambedkar is very clear. Unless you have a socio-cultural movement, you cannot have a effective, strong political empowerment. 99% of Dalits are very much interested in politics, not in a socio-cultural movement. Why? Because socio-cultural movement is a foundation, and foundation is always hidden under the ground. Because roots, tree is the politics and academics. If Dalit tree has two stems, one is the politics, another one is academics. The roots of the tree is hidden. The hidden thing is socio-cultural movement. Do you understand this? The hidden thing is socio-cultural movement. So Ambedkar said very clearly that without socio-cultural movement, you will not have political power and academic power. You do politics, you do business, but your politics and your business will become powerful only when there is socio-cultural movement. Without socio-cultural movement, you cannot have a strong politics as well as business. Because social capital is more important than the political and economic capital. Even if you want to get the political capital and economic capital, that should be rooted in the social capital. So without creating social capital, you cannot have a political capital. Without creating a social capital, you cannot have an economic capital. What Dalits are missing the point is that they are more interested in creating the political capital. They are more interested in creating the economic capital, without addressing the issue of creation of social capital, socio-cultural capital. That is why today Dalits are facing a dilemma of how to go with the politics, how to empower themselves economically in the absence of government jobs. Because reservation has become useless. There are no government jobs. It is only namesake, paper. On the paper, reservation is there. Reservation in jobs, it's on the paper. There are no government jobs. There are no government jobs. Today, Dalits are somehow entered into the middle class, somehow having the economic capital, somehow economically in the middle class. It's all because of reservations in the government jobs. Now, government jobs disappeared. Reservation has no use. What does it mean? It means the path of economic empowerment is closed. Why it is happening today like that? Why it is happening that economic path of empowerment of Dalits through reservation in the government job is being closed slowly and steadily? Why? Why it's happening? Because Ambedkar always said, this economic empowerment or political empowerment, why Dalit politics has become so much weaker today. So much weaker. There is no Dalit voice. Politically, there is no strong Dalit voice. When SC/ST atrocities act was changed, it was the community, Dalit community who came to on the road, not any political party. No political party came onto the road to oppose that changes in the SC/ST Atrocities Act. It's a community that came on the road. So community is ready, but there is no political leadership. There is no economic leadership. Means there is no business class within the Dalit community. And middle class is becoming slowly weak because reservation in the government jobs are disappearing. So why we are at a crossroads? Dalits are at a crossroad. Dalit communities today, Dalit community is at crossroads, not finding how to go ahead with for political empowerment as well as economic empowerment. Why it is so? Because we didn't listen to Ambedkar. Ambedkar was very clear. If you want a political power, or if you want to create a political capital, if you want to create an economic capital, first you need to create a socio-cultural capital. Where is that? Is there any all India level strong movement that producing socio-cultural capital? I don't find. If you want to create a socio-cultural capital, first you need to have intellectual capital. Where are the Dalit intellectuals? Bahujan Samaj Party doesn't provide any space for Dalit intellectuals. Chandrasekhar Azad doesn't provide space for Dalit intellectuals. Prakash Ambedkar, he doesn't provide space for Dalit intellectuals. Republican Party of India of anyone doesn't provide space for Dalit intellectuals. Dalit intellectuals don't do direct politics, but politicians require intellectual guidance. But every politician thinks that they themselves are highly intellectual and well-read. How it possible? A politician is a 24-hour job. Whichever political party has a intellectual wing, that intellectual wing, see, you know about the business companies. In every business company, a business company which is highly successful, just to have a keen observation, why it is highly successful. Today in the world, Tesla, led by Elon Musk, is a very successful company. Nvidia is a very successful company. These are American companies. Google, Microsoft, look at these companies. Why they are highly successful all over the world? Because they spend half of their profit in R&D. R&D means research and design, research and development. How to develop the company, how to do research to develop the company, what new innovations to be done. Are there fools? They are not fools to spend half of their profits. If they are earning 100 rupees profit, if they are earning $100 profit, They spend $50 on research and development. Because without doing research for the development of the company, a company cannot be successful. You cannot have all 100% profit without doing research. The companies which don't have research and development, those companies are becoming useless. Suddenly they disappear from the market because they come with what companies come with a new idea, and once that idea gets successful, the company will become strong. But any idea will become normalized. Anything will be normalized in a course of time. Then you have to reinvent the same idea, or you have to reinvent the new idea. Then only the company, the business will be successful. Same is the case with the politics also. Bahujan Samaj Party came with a new idea called Bahujan. Now it is normalized. Either this Bahujan Samaj Party people should reinvent that idea. It's reinvented into a Sarva Samaj. But that also that has some time very effective. Now it is been not again reinvented, or no new ideas have come with the. So Dalit politics are not producing any new ideas, or not reinventing the old ideas. Because why it is so? Because Dalit political parties don't have R&D, research and development. What does it mean? Who do the research and development in the political parties? Intellectuals. Because Dalit political parties don't have space for the intellectual shape, they don't have R&D. Without having R&D, no political party. When business company can't be successful, how could be a political party be successful without R&D? So in the political parties, R&D means, in the companies, R&D means research and development. In the political parties, R&D means intellectuals wing. Many political parties have some wings: women wing, lawyers wing, traders wing, scheduled caste wing, scheduled tribe wing, backward caste wing, cell, they call cell, I think. OBC cell, SC cell, ST cell. So why can't these Dalit political parties have an intellectual cell? There is no. If there is an intellectual cell, you people could be a part of that intellectual cell to guide the Bahujan Samaj Party, to guide the Ajay Chandrasekhar Party, to guide the Republican Party of India, to guide this Prakash Ambedkar's party. In Tamil Nadu, there is a VCK. In the recent Tamil Nadu elections, it won one or two MLAs. Yeah, 2 MLAs in alliance with the DMK. VCK is it's a Dalit party. So what I'm trying to say that Ambedkar was very clear in the section 2 and 3. Section 2 in the Annihilation of Caste, Ambedkar was very clearly said that without social capital, you cannot have a political capital. Without socio-cultural movement, you cannot have a political movement. The same is case with the economics. Without socio-cultural capital, you cannot have a economic power. Now coming to the next. Next, he talked about how the division of laborers. Ambedkar very clearly said against Marxism. He said that Marxism failed in India because, see, Dalits are very easy prey to the Marxism. Dalits should not become a Marxist. Try to understand. Dalits should not become a communist. Dalit should not become a RSS followers. These two things you identify. Dalits should not become followers of communism or RSSism. Dalits should not become a part of communism or part of Hindutva. This is, Ambedkar was very clear about these two things. Ambedkar never joined with a communist, never joined with a RSS. So being Ambedkarites, we have to follow Ambedkar. Now, Ambedkar was about communists. Ambedkar in the section 4 of the Annihilation of Caste, very clear. Communism going to fail. That time communism was very much in a peak, highly successful ideology all over the world. That time itself Ambedkar told communism would be failing in India because it has an inherent limitation as far as communist ideology, Marxist ideology is concerned in India. Why Marxist ideology is a failed ideology in India? Ambedkar is very clear that in communist, Marxist says that all the laborers, all the workers should unite. Ambedkar said that in India, all the workers can't unite. Why all the workers can't unite? Because workers are divided by the caste. Since workers are divided by the caste, all the workers can't unite. All the laborers can't unite. Since all the laborers can't unite, the fundamental principle of communism is that uniting all the workers, uniting all the laborers. Without uniting all the laborers, all the workers, you cannot have a communist movement. You cannot have a Marxist movement. So that is the basis. The primary necessity for the communism is that, for the Marxism is that, to unite the workers, to unite the laborers. In India, laborers can't unite. Brahmin labor and Dalit labor can't unite. Brahmin worker, Dalit labor worker can't unite because they are divided by the caste or race. So communism is a failed ideology in India. And Ambedkar said that Hindu identity. Next, after that, what he said in the 5th, the section 5, he said he dealt with the Hindutva people, Hindu ideology. He said that the term Hindu is a myth. It is not even a Sanskrit term. The term came from the Persia. It's an imported term. He said that Hindu is an imported term and Hindu society is a myth. So when there is a myth, the society itself, Hindu, by name Hindu, because Ambedkar said that in India, it's a caste that is a society. Religion is not a society. Religion can't be a society in India. It's a caste is a society. That's why you see Buddhists, many Dalits converted to Buddhism. Even then they have not left the caste. They are carrying the caste. There are scheduled caste Buddhists who are getting the reservation based on caste. If a Chamar becoming a Buddhist, a Chamar will get a reservation under the scheduled caste category because he is a Chamar Buddhist. Chamar is his caste, Buddhist is a religion. If Chamar is becoming Christian, though he will not get the reservation, but however, caste is there. Chamar is a caste, Christian is a religion. Mahar is a caste, Buddhist is a religion. Mahar is a caste, Christian is a religion. So in India, even if you embrace Buddhism, why Ambedkar embraced Buddhism? Why many Dalits embrace Buddhism? To fight against the caste. Of course, you can fight against the caste, sitting on the religion which doesn't believe in the caste. There's no doubt in it. But you can't annihilate the caste by taking only religion. That's why Buddhists are unable to annihilate the caste. Look at 1956, Ambedkar embraced Buddhism. Today, 2026. How many years gone? How many years gone? It's already this 26. That's a 56 to another 50. This 20. Almost, it's going to be a 50, 60, 70, 80 years. More than 80, 90, 80 or 90 years. Still, there is a caste within the Buddhist society. Buddhism, the Dalits who embraced the Buddhism, they are unable to change they are unable to annihilate the caste. Today, all the Buddhists are now fighting for a scheduled caste reservation. And they are getting a scheduled caste reservation. So even if you are a Buddhist, you need to have a Chamar certificate. Even if you have a Buddhist, you need to have a Mahar certificate. So Chamar, Mahar identities or any caste entity not going to be disappear even if you become a Buddhist. Because you need to have a benefits based on your caste. And still, even if you say Buddhist, other caste people, other people look at you differently. Even if you say you are Christian, you are looked at differently. That's why Ambedkar said that neither communism nor Hindutva, these two are not of our own ideologies. So we should not be part of communist movement. We should not be part of Hindutva movement. That is what Ambedkar said in section section 4. Yes, section 4 and section 6. But in the section 5, Ambedkar talked about caste as a race, how the caste is a race. Brahmin, Dalits, these are all races. Now, section 7, last lecture we discussed anti-social spirit. Ambedkar very clearly said that as long as you believe in the caste, you will be anti-social. We will say no anti-social element means we think that people who will do who are criminals, criminals. We think we treat them as anti-social elements. That is small thing. The biggest anti-social element is a one who believes in the caste. It means that all are anti-social elements because majority people in India believe in the caste. So as far as Ambedkar is concerned, one who believes in the caste is an anti-social element because caste produces only anti-social spirit. That's what in the section 7 of the Annihilation of Caste is said. Now coming back to the section 8, today's lecture. What is the? It is about tribes, Indian tribes, particularly about the aboriginal tribes, Adiwasi. Ambedkar was, say, this Annihilation of Caste wrote in the year 1936. So that time there were 13 million aboriginal tribes in India. Many people praise Adiwasi civilization, Adiwasi culture. But Ambedkar was very clear. It is an undeveloped culture. Ambedkar really, Ambedkar, he is, very, you can't digest him or you can't, vomit out of, from your mouth. He is so critical about, he was a critical of Christianity. He was a critical of Muslim. Any fundamental Christian look at Ambedkar as, why Ambedkar is criticizing my religion? If any fundamentalist Muslim look at Ambedkar as, why Ambedkar is criticizing Islam? Ambedkar criticizing, see, that's what Ambedkar in section 8, Ambedkar smashes this, caste Hindus' opinion about Adivasi. What non-Adivasi people, particularly the general caste, the caste Hindus, Ambedkar calls them Hindu or caste Hindu. Ambedkar says that Hindus propagate that Adivasi culture is very great culture. But Ambedkar says that it is an uncivilized backward culture. How could it be great? In what sense is it great? There is no modernity. And majority of the Adivasi were involving the criminal activities during the British for so many centuries. For their own survival. And it is a shame on the Hindus that they claim that India has a very great civilization. But in the so-called that civilization, why there are 13 million, about 13 million criminal tribes in India? If it is a great civilization, India has a great civilization, great past. Why there are 13 million criminal tribes in India? Why Hindus not interested to develop them? So everybody talk about the greatness of Adivasi civilization, but Ambedkar says that it is uncivilized and undeveloped savage life they are living. It's the responsibility of the society to bring them into the development. That's why Ambedkar wanted to apply Constitution of India on the tribals. Because there was a discussion those days, tribals should leave to themselves. Tribals should not be brought under the Constitution. Means under the British laws those days. 1936 he wrote that. So under the British laws, modern Constitution, tribals should not be brought. They should be left for their own life. Ambedkar says that no. See, it's a time demanding. In a past history, they have their own life. But when we are all having the common law, when we are having the development, when we are having the modern education, modern facilities, modern communication, it is our duty to bring the Adivasis under the modern law. Then only they also can have the fruits of modernity. But even today, what Gandhians, what even Hindutvawadis, and what all the people do, they'll say, oh, the Adivasi has a great civilization. Of course, they had a great civilization in the ancient past. But what is today required? Any civilization, any culture, it becomes savage, undeveloped, primitive for the period of time. People are not for the culture. Culture is for the people. People are the community. Any community is not for the culture. Culture is for the community. If culture becomes outdated, if culture becomes primitive, undeveloped, you should leave that culture. Should adopt the new culture which gives you strength. That's what Ambedkar positioned with regard to the tribals. So tribal people who are joining in this lecture, they should understand. Ambedkar is very critical about whatever the ideas created by the Patel, the Hindus, Patel, the Brahmins with regard to the tribals. Ambedkar was very clear. Any culture would become a primitive, undeveloped, savage society over the period of time. So when Ambedkar was writing 1936, when Ambedkar was writing this book during the British time, British laws were applied to all people, all communities. There was a discussion that whether the tribals should be brought under the constitution, under the laws of the British or not. Ambedkar said no. Ambedkar said yes, they should be brought. And Hindus opposed it. Brahmins opposed it. They said that no, tribal should be left for their own way of living. We should not disturb the tribal living. And some of the tribal leaders also, they are happy to be, with their tribal life. Ambedkar said no, they will become more and more undeveloped. You see today, 1956, we have started executing the constitution of 1950. We started executing the constitution of India. Today, look at the tribal life, how tribals, when the tribes brought under the constitution of India, today look at them, how they are very, powerful community. There is a middle class in the tribes. They are rich people, educated people. Had tribes not brought under the constitution of India, tribals would have been remained as a undeveloped, uncivilized. That's why if anybody tells the tribals that, and if anybody tells Adiwasi people that you have a great culture and you live in the past only, that is a misguidance. That is pushing the tribals into the backwardness. All tribal people, all Adiwasi people should adopt Ambedkar, should own Ambedkar, should adopt Ambedkar. Only Ambedkar can empower tribals and Adiwasi people. Because Ambedkar says very clearly that any culture, any language, any society can become undeveloped over the period of time, because history keeps on adopting the new developments. Those who say that tribals have great culture, they should not become modern. They should go back to the forest. This is a misguidance. These people want to ruin the tribals. These people don't want tribals to adopt the modernity, modern developments, fruits of the modernity. Tell the people who are saying that, let's go back to Vedas. Some Brahmin says that they want to go back to Vedic age. Tell them that first you cut your electricity. Cut your electricity. Because in the Vedic age, there is no electricity. Can anybody survive without electricity, without light, even for a minute? And they are talking about going back to the Veda. And some people talk about going back to the Buddha. Tell those people, can you cut the electricity for 1 minute? Then go back to Buddha. And people tell the tribal people that go back to your ancient age, tribal village, tribal culture. Go to jungles. Live in the primitive age. Tell all these people, whoever says that go back, backwardness is going backwardness is what? Primitive age, undeveloped age. They are pushing us to that. In history, irrespective of the great kings like that, Ashoka, in history, going back means backwardness. And no king is even if he's a good king like Ashoka, but he's not elected person. Try to understand. So you can respect, you can admire kings of the past, but don't ever think of bringing the age of those kings. Because even if it is Ashoka age, he is not an elected king. Democracy all about our participation in the making a king. So democracy is a new invention on the kingdoms, on the aristocracy, on the feudalism. Why should we go back? Ambedkar is very clear about democracy. Though democracy is not a perfect idea, but it is certainly a perfect idea as far as the present times is concerned. Because there is no idea. Someone said, democracy is the second perfect idea. Then what is the first perfect? What is the first perfect idea? There is no first perfect idea. Though democracy is the second perfect idea, there is no first perfect idea. So Ambedkar was very clear that Ambedkar was accusing and abusing the Dalit. Ambedkar was accusing the caste Hindus because these caste Hindus take pride of their civilization, but they didn't even spend they never spend a time to develop the tribal people. There are criminal tribes. Why they are criminal tribes? Because they are involving in the criminal activities. But Hindus never made these criminal tribes to leave the criminal profession and take up the honorable professions. Hindus never ever made any effort to develop the tribal people. That's why Ambedkar said that all tribal should be brought under the modern law, so that tribal people should have their fruits of the modernity. And Ambedkar was talking about tribals in the Annihilation of Caste. Ambedkar said that why did Hindus not spend any time, not made any effort to develop the tribals? Because Hindus more worry about the caste. Ambedkar was saying here very clearly, Christian missionaries are giving education to the tribals. Christian missionaries are doing the medical aid to the tribals. Look at the Jaipal Singh Munda. Jaipal Singh Munda was educated in the Christian missionary schools. He went to the foreign America to gain his foreign degrees. He's highly educated. He was one of the members of the Constituent Assembly. Forget about the Jaipal Singh Munda. Look at even Birsa Munda. Birsa Munda got education in the Christian missionary schools. By birth, he was a Christian, Birsa Munda. Many people propagate many myths about the Birsa Munda. It's a tribal leader should write the real history about the Birsa Munda and Jaipal Singh Munda. But Ambedkar said that why Hindus were not doing same as the Christian missionaries. It's because Hindus were more concerned about caste. Because of the caste only, Hindus not spent even a minute or not made any effort to develop the tribal people. See, very clearly he says here. Let me read out. There are about 13 millions of aboriginal tribes in India. The fact still remains that these aborigines have remained in their primitive, uncivilized state in a land which boasts of a civilization thousands of years old. Not only are they not civilized, but some of them follow pursuits which have led to their being classified as criminals. 13 millions of people living in the midst of civilization are still in a savage state and are leading the life of hereditary criminals. But the Hindus have never felt ashamed of it. The Hindus will probably seek to account for the savage state of the aborigines by attributing them congenital stupidity. They will probably not admit, who? Hindus. Hindus will not probably admit that the aborigines means tribes, the indigenous people. The Hindus will probably not admit the tribals have remained savages because they had made no effort to civilize them, to give them medical aid, to reform them, to make them good citizens. But supposing a Hindu wished to do what the Christian missionary is doing for these aborigines, could we have done it? Ambedkar says that what Christian missionaries are doing to the tribal people Adivasi people. Christian missionaries are giving medical aid to the Adivasi people. Christian missionaries giving education to the Adivasi people. Why Hindus are not doing? They could do it, but why they didn't do it? Ambedkar gives answer. I submit. Hindus not done. I submit not. Civilizing the aborigines means adopting them as your own, living in their midst, and cultivating fellow feeling, in short, loving them. Hindus can't love the tribals because Hindus here means Brahmins and others, Aryan communities. So they can't love the tribals because tribals don't belong to them. Tribals are not Aryans. That's the reason. So, but Ambedkar said the caste. Caste is the reason why Hindus don't love others. Hindu love only his own caste. Hindu don't love all Hindus also. Try to understand this. Hindu love only his own caste. This is not my thesis. This is the thesis of Ambedkar. Ambedkar says, how is it possible for a Hindu to do this? His whole life is one anxious effort to preserve his caste. Caste is his precious possession, which he must save at any cost. He cannot consent to lose it by establishing contact with the aborigines, the remnants of the hateful Aryans of the Vedic days. See, remnants of the Aryans of the Vedic days. He's saying that. Ambedkar was very clear why Hindus were means not loving the tribals, why Hindus were not making any effort to develop the tribals. It's because of they are not Aryans. And the Aryans very much concerned about his only race, his only caste. Today you may ask that, sir, there are many people, they want to develop tribals. There are many Hindus, they want to develop tribals. It's because of the vote. If you don't have right to vote, nobody bothers about the tribals. Since there is a vote bank politics, tribal vote bank, since political parties want tribal votes, Adiwasi votes, that's why they come to the Adiwasi, they ask the votes. To ask the votes, they want to talk about the tribal rights. But however, tribals are still under the poverty, without any development. Even after we got independence in 1947, we got the constitution in 1950, but still Adiwasi is under poverty, under backwardness. Why? Because though political parties take the votes of the Adiwasis by misguiding them, but really no political party is working for the Adivasi. Only because of the Constitution of India, because of Ambedkar, Adivasi people, tribal people got the reservation in government jobs, reservation in the education, reservation in the jobs. That's why today Adivasi people are able to become a middle class, educated class. So Adivasi people should understand that it's because of Ambedkar and Constitution of India. They have become, and according to Ambedkar, it was because of the Christian missionaries who got the education and medical aid to the tribals. Ambedkar was very clear. Hindus didn't do anything for the tribals because Hindus more worried about their caste. That's what Ambedkar says. I'm not putting my own words. I'm reading Ambedkar very clearly. Here Ambedkar very clearly says, a Hindu cannot consent to lose his caste by establishing contact with aborigines, the remnants of the hateful Aryans of the the remnants of the hateful Anaryas of the Vedic days. Ambedkar says that tribal people are Anaryas, means non-Aryans. Hindus are Aryans. How could Hindus? That's why Hindus are more worried about their Aryan identity, their caste, not the Anaryas. So, not that a Hindu could not be taught the sense of duty to fallen humanity, but the trouble is that no amount of sense of duty can enable him to overcome his duty to preserve his caste. Caste is therefore the real explanation as to why the Hindu has let the savage remain a savage in the midst of his civilization without blushing or without feeling any sense of remorse or repentance. Why Hindus claim that in India, Hindu civilization is very old civilization. It's a very great civilization, like that Hindus say. But even then, they didn't bother about the criminal tribes in India. If it is a great civilization, Hindu civilization, why the Hindus didn't bother to reform the criminal tribes. In 1936, when Ambedkar was writing Annihilation of Caste, there were 13 million criminal tribes. Why Hindus not made any effort to develop the criminal tribes? Why didn't they make the criminal tribes to take up the honorable professions? Because Hindus never bother about others except their own caste. The Hindus has not realized that. This caste is therefore the real explanation as to why the Hindu has let the savage remain a savage in the midst of his civilization without blushing or without feeling any sense of remorse or repentance. That's it. So, my dear friends, section 8 talk about the Adiwasi, the Indian tribes, aboriginal tribes. Ambedkar very clearly said that even if Adivasi should not be proud of their culture, because any culture, any society, any language, anything will become outdated after some time. Or a human will die. Ideas will be outdated. You have to create the new ideas. You have to create the new innovations. This is a very wrong belief that we have an ancient culture and we go back to the ancient culture. No. Dalits has no burden of it. Dalits always, futuristic people. Dalits look at the future. Dalits look at the bright future. So Dalits look at front side. And those who believe they want to go back, they look at the back side. So you want to look back or you want to look front? You have to look front. So the message in this lecture is that tribals, Adivasi people should adopt Ambedkar to become more powerful in the modern society. See, there are many Adivasi people talk about land. What is that? Land, water, forest. This land, water, forest demand during the British period. Even now also they are same demand. What does it show? It shows that the issue is not resolved even after independence. And it's not going to be resolved because forest has the minerals underneath. And over that, forest, land, trees, under the soil, minerals. So such a very prosperous areas tribals are living. And the modern governments, naturally they tap that resources. So what tribals have to do, what Adivasi have to do, instead of talking about land, forest, water, these rights, tribals should come out of the forest. Ambedkar said all Dalits should come out of the villages. Same way, all tribals, if Adivasi want to believe in Ambedkar, Adivasis should come out of the forest, come to the cities, adopt the modern professions, learn English. Adivasi, Ambedkar wanted to see Adivasi learning English. I want to see Adivasi sitting in the Google office in America, in the Seattle. Why can't Adivasi become a CEO of Google? Instead of talking about going back to the world civilization, Adivasi should talk about how to become CEO of Google, how to become CEO of the Microsoft. Yeah, how to make our own companies, how to become big leaders. English learning is the only way. Ambedkar, Constitution of India, English learning. These things only can make Adivasi more powerful, socially, culturally, academically, and politically. Thank you very much. Jai Bhim, Jai Bharat. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. And now, those who want to ask the question, please go ahead. Please. Kiran ma'am, do you have any question?
Okay, go for well, vote of thanks.
Thank you, sir. Now, with the permission of the chair, on the behalf of the Karunyakara Institute of Dalit Knowledge, it is my immense pleasure to extend a heartfelt vote of thanks for this enriching session. First and foremost, our deepest gratitude and warm regard goes to Professor Lilla Karunyakara sir, a respected Dalit historian and a profound Ambedkar thinker. We are truly grateful to him for kindly chairing this session and delivering such a wonderful and thought-provoking lecture as a key speaker on the topic and lesson of caste, section 8, part 9. Professor Karunyakara is a former Vice Chancellor of Mahatma Gandhi Antarashtriya Hindi Vishwavidyalaya, Wardha, Maharashtra, and a renowned expert on Dalit affairs and Dr. Ambedkar writings. His insights today have greatly enriched all of us. We also extend our sincere thanks to all the participants and attendees who joined us for the 48th online lecture in the KIDK lecture series. A special word of appreciation to our dedicated coordinators, Dr. Sukeshni, Dr. Darshana Mishram, Dr. Smita Bhagat, Mr. Akash Khobragade, Mr. Shreyat and Mr. Vijay for their tireless effort and unwavering support in making this session a grand success. This lecture series, which we began on Ambedkar Jayanti 2025, continues to be a powerful platform for spreading Dalit knowledge, critical ideas, and new perspectives in the field of Dalit studies. Thank you once again to everyone for your active and valuable participation. And before we conclude, please don't forget to subscribe to our Dalit Knowledge YouTube channel, where the recorded session will be uploaded shortly. Jai Bhim. The session is over, sir.